What's up, everybody? Ted Barrus here, better known as the fire-breathing idiot. You asked for another beer time with Ted, I'm going to give it to you. So, let me pretend I know how to use this weird little bottle opener, switchblade, gizmo gadget, and get this started. Today's beer will be from the Deschutes Brewery. It's an IPA, Hop Hinge IPA, experimental IPA. It's 1.5 pints, and I don't know anything about it. Warning, there'll probably be profanity in this video. Stonehenge is, whatever. Who cares? I just want to know what it tastes like. Everyone's like, Ted Barrus, you gotta drink yourself real beer. That other stuff is just piss. You gotta get yourself a IPA or this or that. So I went to the store and got a whole bunch of different real man beer. Something that the Metal Madman would be proud of. So, here we go. Today's subject. Woo! I have never smelled a beer like that. Don't know if I should be scared or not. Today's subject is we're going to continue the living in Idaho and the John and Dora stories. Got a beer mug. So this video might run 20 minutes. I promise you it's going to be very entertaining and 100% truth. I'm not going to exaggerate or bullshit you on any of it. It's real life stories of things that have happened. Wow, it's all going to go in there? Holy crap. That's a big beer mug, huh? Wow, that's flavorful. Don't worry, I'm not going to start doing beer reviews. I don't know shit about them, so I'm not going to pretend to. My expertise is in chilies and spicy stuff. But that's good. Tastes citrusy and like nuts and berries, and it's good stuff. All right, let me get a little beer here. And everybody, you can pause the video right now. Go grab yourself a beer. Soda pop, root beer, whatever you're going to need. Sit in a comfy chair. I'm leaned back a little bit in this uncomfortable chair. And going to start this. Wow, that's filled with flavor. That's good stuff. Yeah, it was expensive too. I think it was $5 for that. All right. So, a lot of people wanted to know more about John and Dora, and I've got a lot of stories about them. Like I told you in the previous video, when I moved to Idaho and stuff, I'll tell you about how I met them. In that apartment, it was a fourplex, and they were downstairs to the left under my friend Danny. And they were kind of what you'd call welfare junkies. Dora was on SSI, and John was kind of her boyfriend / pimp. I'm not making that up. It was like kind of meth-related pimping. They'd have sex parties, and he would have her pull tricks for money and stuff. Saw a lot of stuff. So I'll tell you some of the stories. Let's see. I told you about the vacuum cleaner. How about when they walk the dog? So in Lewiston, Idaho, there's a park called Pioneer Park. And at night, they would go and walk their dog. It was one of those little Benji dogs. And they'd only do it at night, walk the dog up there. And they would sit at the bench, and anybody walking by, John would say, hey, you want a blowjob? And he wasn't going to suck off the man. She was. I'm not kidding you. He wanted to watch. I don't know why he had that fascination or turn on, but plenty of times they asked me if I wanted to go up to Pioneer Park and with him. Well, she did this. Nope. Don't want to go. Ain't never gonna go. Don't want nothing to do with it. But I knew plenty of people that did go up there, and yeah, somebody, yeah, whatever, I'll take a blowjob. Yeah, hey, little doggy, pet the doggy while she's doing her thing, and yeah, he's whatever. Woo! Hoorah! It's good. Good beer. So yeah, they like to walk the dog. I don't remember the dog's name, but the dog was a little Benji dog, and they'd walk it. I remember when they'd cut the little claws and bleed everywhere. One thing about Dora is she was, I don't know her diagnosis. I knew my neighbor Danny's diagnosis. And I'm sure you're going to want to know a lot about him in the next video. But it's very rare. I don't even know what the chances are to meet two different people in the same fourplex that both have paranoid schizophrenia and multiple personality disorders. Like Danny's diagnosis was paranoid schizophrenia, bipolar with illusions, with a multi-personality complex. Dora, I know she was a schizophrenic, and she had a lot of personalities. A lot of times I would catch her, and this is what she'd be doing. I don't want to do the dishes. I want to smoke some pot. I don't want to smoke some pot. I don't want to do the... I like Gumby. Shut up. Who are you talking to? And you break into this conversation, and be talking to you out of all these different voices, and then she just break into another conversation. What was is I don't know what happened to her whole life story, but I can tell you that she was in a psychiatric hospital for a long time. North Lewiston. Lewiston has Lewiston and then North Lewiston. North Lewiston's kind of the shithole of Lewiston. The industrial area, there's some housing over there, and it's shithole. But I guess in North Lewiston, she had a trick, and it went bad. It was an old guy, and she castrated him, chopped off his dick and his balls, and stabbed him. And she ended up in a mental prison. Idaho still has mental hospitals. And she was there for a long time. Well, she ended up being released. And when I met her, I don't even know how long it had been since she was in there. But I know that she liked stabbing people. John liked to sleep with a phone book under his shirt. And I'm not kidding you, man. A big old phone book. I came out one day, stretching. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with your chest, dude? And he's like, oh, it's my phone book, man. So the door doesn't kill me when I'm sleeping. Well, she liked to stab people in the chest. I'll get to that story later. The last day I ever spent in those apartments, moving my stuff, what happened? That's a really interesting story. I'll tell you that at the very end. But there was multiple times where she stabbed John, and she had stabbed a lot of people. Well, there's a company that will bring her drugs, and I believe the state, it's not the state that does it, they subcontract to a private company. Private company will bring her her psychotropic medication. Well, she gets it in the day, but she doesn't get it in the evening. So in the evening, she goes, I mean, she loses it. But in the daytime, she's usually okay. But she smokes pot and does all this other stuff. So who knows? Nothing's really working because they're just going off, these personalities. She had massive hemorrhoids. I mean, I told you about her hemorrhoids. They look like gummy worms or dreadlocks coming out of her butthole. She would always ask me for Preparation H. Well, hold on. Wow, it's very, very potent stuff, this brew. Very hard to drink a lot of it. It's like sipping beer, sippy cup beer. You need a sippy cup. At least I do. It's hard to do a big gulp of that. So Dora's always asking me for Preparation H. I'm the only one in the fourplex, or even, I guess, on that block that had a job. I had a 9 to 5. I worked 5 days a week, pretty decent money, and I'm the only one at work. So people would ask me for things all the time, and I'd just say, get fucked. I'm not giving you shit. So she'd always be asking me for Preparation H. I'm like, what the fuck? I ain't a truck driver. I ain't got berries coming out of my butthole. I don't need them. I'm not 50-year-old man getting pounded in the butt. So I don't need Preparation H. So she's always asking me for it. One day, man, back then I smoked weed. I just did a bunch of bong hits and bang, 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 bang on the door. Ted. I knew exactly what it was. You know what I did? I went and I got the hand sanitizer and I ripped the label off it And I said, well, it's a special lotion. Just smear it all over your butthole and everything. And she did. I heard screaming, ah, it hurts, it's burning. Then I hear bang, 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 bang on my door, and it's John. Now, John, I'm 5'11". John's about 5'5", and he's stocky. And he's pounding on my door. He's pissed. What the fuck? You think that's funny? Yeah, your asshole's on fire, burning. It's all she wanted was preparation. I'm like, I don't give a fuck, man. Maybe she'll learn a lesson. How many fucking times I gotta tell you, get the fuck off my door? Man, I'm not the welfare office. I'm not the fucking state agencies. I'm not a pharmacist. I ain't got no fucking preparation H coming out of my ears. Yeah, that's what she gets. Yeah, give her this. It might help. It's the aloe vera. Get the fuck out of here. Slam the door in his face. I didn't take a lot of shit on that block. I was known for a pretty bad temper back then. But yeah, that was pretty funny when I did that. The whole neighborhood heard about that and laughed. They said, dude, that was so fucked up, man. Because she's got abnormal hemorrhoids. I mean, they look like fucking worms coming out of her butthole. And she's just like dumping the whole bottle, smearing it in there. Think how bad that burned. All right. So, John, I was telling you a little bit about John, stocky guy. And he was pretty mellow, lean back. I didn't see John blow up that many times, but he wasn't somebody to really fuck with. John had been in prison for murder. Both of them had been in prison for murder, but John had been in prison for murder and been on death row. Hold on. I'm already getting a good buzz from that. What is this? 10.4% alcohol. Oh. So John had been in prison and on death row for murder, but he wasn't on death row for the crime. John was a dangerous fucker in prison. Some of his buddies that would come over to the house, you know, we'd chat and stuff, and they would tell me his stories because they did time with John down in Boise State. John did prison all over Washington too, I believe. But he used to get mad at the guards, and I don't remember what they called it, but he used to tell me what it was, and I looked it up online, and it was true what they did. The cops in Lewiston knew him too. I was friends with a lot of the cops, even though I smoked weed and stuff. They didn't give a shit about me, man. There was 3 different houses selling China white heroin, like a couple houses selling meth, and pot dealers all over the place. They had big fish to fry. I'd be smoking a bong on my porch, and they would just give me a look, which meant just put it behind me so they don't see it. They didn't give a shit. I was, tax-paying guy, didn't fucking commit a bunch of crimes, so they didn't give a shit about me. They were worried about other people, like them, John and Dora. They raided their place, but we'll talk about that later. So what John would do, he'd get mad at these prison guards, and they would take a bucket, and he would have his whole tier shit in the bucket. All these guys, I mean, with all these diseases like hepatitis C, which John and Dora have, and then they would take light bulbs and take it and break it up in the poop. And when the guards would come up, they would throw it right in their face. Now tell me, that is a dangerous fucking job. Having a bucket of shit thrown in your face with broken glass smashed in it with all these guys with HIV and hepatitis C. You just ruined this guard's life. So you gonna be a prison guard, you better be treating these men with fucking respect, because if not, you better walk everywhere in a bubble, thick bubble that protects you from flying fecal matter with hepatitis C, HIV, and every other thing you can think of. So he told me he was doing that, and I found out from a sheriff's deputy, I believe it was, that verified it, that John was on death row because he was so violent and he did this stuff. So they kept him on death row. I think he was on death row for 5 years. I don't know what benefits you get on death row. I don't think he did, but it was, I think, like solitary for him. But fucking crazy. Dora, she freaked me out one day. She's telling me about, I love the heated floors down by the waterfront. The bathrooms have heated floors. I'm like, huh? What do you mean? The bathrooms, if you lay down on the floor, they're heated. And I was like, clueless. And then I was like, oh my God, she's a hooker. She'd lay down on these heated floors because Lewiston gets cold in the winter. And the bathrooms have heated floors. And she'd go in there, legs up in the air. Oh, yeah. Yes. So she knew about which bathrooms in Lewiston were the best bathrooms. I'd seen them. They were really, really, I'm sorry, they're disgusting people. I don't really associate myself with scum and white trash. And there's scum, and then there's white trash. And I don't mean people that live in a trailer or anything like that. I'm talking about white trash, scum. You guys know some of you are going to troll me for saying that, but there's white trash, there's black trash, brown trash. We all have trash. But they were really slimy people. They would have people come over, like these meth freaks, like you've seen the poster, meth does this, and they show their face and their mouth. We're talking they would be at their house all the time, She'd be shaving their balls. But this one time, this guy come over, and I threatened the guy. I said, you fuck with my truck, I'll beat you to fucking death. I will beat you until the fucking cops get here, and in this neighborhood, it's going to be a long time. Because somebody had already fucked with my Mustang. I had a 65 Mustang. Sorry, I'm getting a little loopy. I had the 65 Mustang K-Code GT, brought up from California, matching numbers, sweet fucking ride. I had extra console, extra steering wheel, extra GT rims. I had extra headliner, carpet, kick panels. I think I had... There was a bunch of stuff. You don't want to know about that. It was all in the fucking trunk. And somebody broke into it, man, the first night. So I was always leery, because we had parking only for tenants down there. This guy's parking down there, and I said, man, because I could tell what type of person it is, I'll beat the fuck out of you. Oh, you think you're tough? I said, try me right now, man. I'll beat your ass right now. Nobody's going to call the cops, so it's going to be your word against mine, and you're a piece of shit, and I'm a decent human being. So, fuck with my shit, see what happens. So he didn't fuck with my shit. But this son of a bitch, brought this trailer full of garbage. If you know what tweakers do, they save everything. You always know a tweaker's house. You drive by, and there's always shit everywhere. All this weird stuff. Air conditioners and weird stuff all over the place. And there was all this shit everywhere. But he brings this trailer full of shit. And there's dirty needles. I'm not kidding you. All in there. Just with the needle bent. All these syringes. Rusty and stuff. And I was pissed because there's kids around here. And I feel bad for these kids that they even have to grow up here. The only reason I'm living there because it's cheap. I'm paying $300 a month for my apartment. Second floor. I know security. I got the windows nailed down. People know not to fuck with my shit. And I got little deals with people. If they see anything, let me know. So I'm living in this shitty rundown neighborhood. And this guy brings this trailer full of biohazard and parks it there. He didn't even want to throw away the syringes. There's dirty diapers in there, and he won't even throw those away. So Wendy, John, and Dora are digging through there for a needle. I didn't even know. I just thought they were like freebasers that they smoked meth. I didn't know they were shooting it up. But they took a needle. I watched them. They took a syringe with a bent needle, all nasty looking, someone else's blood and shit in there. And they took it out, and were getting ready to shoot up with it. And I freaked out. I went upstairs. I was like, ew! Because I'm kind of a germaphobe, man. I went in there just, ew! Screaming to myself. I'd never seen anything like that. I thought that there were free needle exchanges or something. And I brought it up to him one time and they said, yeah, so what? So what? I got hepatitis C. Ain't no big deal. And I had no idea. I was like, I've been around these people. I've had them in my vehicle. And they have hepatitis C, and they're doing this shit, and they got weird bugs crawling on them, mites and shit. I didn't even know about the mites then. That was later on. So, yeah, fucking weird. This one time they were having a big party. They invited me down. I was like, I ain't going to one of your fucking parties. I had heard that. Next. next. You know, it'd be like an adult theater, man. Come pump Dora. Give us meth and pump on Dora. You know, and she really liked the brothers with the big meat, you know, come in there. And you would think if you got a 10-inch or 12-inch salami, you could do better than Dora. But I guess these meth circles, they like certain things. I guess they like hemorrhoids wrapped around their testicles or something. I have no clue, people. And I am wasted. Wow. All right. We're talking about the big party. So they're like, you gotta go, you gotta pick this girl up for us. She lives in, it's past Clarkston, Washington. Asotin, that's the name of the town. And I had a truck that got like horrible gas mileage. It was a old Ford F-250, 80 something, and it was supposed to have a 306, which is a good Ford engine, and it had a 250 from a Maverick. Tell me how pissed I was when I found that out. He's lucky he moved, because he would have got an ass whooping. I was willing to pay all the neighborhood hooligans to beat his ass when I found out how he did me. The only reason I bought the truck is I thought it was a 306, and it was a little 250. No wonder it got like 5 miles per gallon and couldn't make it up the Lewiston grade. Lewiston grade, you can look it up, do some research. It's a huge grade. Truckers hate coming to Lewiston or Clarkston or coming down that grade. But they're like, you got to pick this girl up. You got to pick her up. And I'm like, show me the money. Well, she'll pay you. Well, I knew that was iffy, that she would pay me. I agreed to it. I said, okay. Driving to Asotin, I'm like, where are we going? I'll tell you how to get there. I'm taking Dora. John's staying there. And pull up, and I'm like, driving. Stop right here. What do you mean stop right here? This is Asotin High School. Yeah, I know. Just stop right here. Okay, well, she's going to meet us at the high school. It's real easy. Yes, we'll meet you at the high school. So, the bell rings. And she, oh, here she comes. I'm like, no. No kids are coming to this party. Not on Ted Barrus watch. Not fucking happening. So she's running up, kind of a big gal. And she's like, open the door. And I'm like, no, I'm not taking her to your fuck party. And Dora's like, okay. You know, personalities coming out. And she's like, it's okay. And I'm like, she's a minor. She's just getting out of school. And she goes, no, it's my 18th birthday. And she was like, it's my birthday. You know, doing this and shit. And I'm like, what do you mean it's your birthday? She takes your ID and says, show me. Shows me it's her birthday. And I'm like, you know what you're getting into? Yeah. I'm like, and Dora's kind of getting mad at me because I'm trying to screw this up. I don't care if I'm not going to get gas money. I got cash. I just don't want this girl going to this. This girl was a bitch. You know, she knows everything. I'm like, do you know they have hepatitis? I don't give a fuck. That's what she's like. I don't give a fuck. You only live once. And they're all talking about, you know, they're going to do meth and do this and do that. She's already used to having 30 dicks in her butthole or vagina or wherever. So she wants to go to the party. All right, I'll drive you. It's you're 18, whatever. Give me the money. So she gave me $40. I think I demanded 20, but she gave me 40. I don't know. And she was probably already high, playing with wieners in the bathroom at school, for all I know. So she was there for days, I think for 3 days, and that's all Danny would complain about. You hear all the goddamn music, Ted. It's old. They moved all the sofas in there. Well, what the sofas meant was they had 3 sofas in front of the apartment complex. They were their, what I used to call sex sponge. Each one of them was a sex sponge. They like savored all that different flavor and body fluid. So they moved them all in there so everyone has something soft and cuddly to lay on and put their legs up. And all these people for 3 days stayed awake and played hide the wiener wherever you wanted to hide it. So, yeah, and then they moved the couches back up. I remember when they had a yard sale and they sold it. They were selling the sofas. some of these sofas had like cigarette burns in them and weird stains and lots of DNA, and they were selling them, yes, for like $15. People bought them. I just sat up there like bong hit on the second floor, shaking my head in disbelief, and Danny's like, should I say something? I'm going to say something. I'm like, dude, if you say anything, John and you are going to go at it. Just whatever, dude, whatever. But they sold that rug, their rug, to a little kid. Whatever. That's their life. Stay the fuck out of it, Danny. It's not worth getting entangled in it. John, man, was a piece of work. I'd have these parties on my own, invite my own friends that didn't live there. And we'd have grill. I used to buy ribs. Man, I would buy so many beef ribs, Albertsons, and I wouldn't want them frozen. I wanted them fresh. So I had a little thing with the guy in Clarkston, the butcher, Clarkston, Washington butcher, and he'd get me like 50 pounds of beef ribs, and I'd keep them, grill them real slow on the barbecue. I mean, real slow, like 4 hours on low. First, I'd boil them to boil all the fat off. And I'd do them real slow. And then I'd take all the racks, wrap them in foil a little bit, and put them in a paper bag for an hour. And then eat them. Talk about good ribs. Oh, man, meat just coming off the bone, baby. I'm a beef rib guy. Don't like pork ribs that much. Like the beef ribs. To me, more flavor. But these big barbecues, and John and Dora want to come up, and I ain't giving you nothing. I don't give nothing away. You know, I got to do my own hustle. So they'd come up and ask me to grill their own stuff. So John, I guess in prison, liked all his stuff cooked really well done. Now, you've never seen well done until you've grilled for him. His pork chops he would get, they would snap. The meat, he wanted them so done that I could snap it. Like, it would be that well done. There would be no moisture. It would be snappy. It would be, you know, there's rare, medium, well done, and then snappy. So next time you go there and you want it snappy at the restaurant, just say, yeah, I'd like let me get a 16-ounce ribeye, snappy, please. 16-ounce ribeye's got to be really small and paper thin. I like them like 40 ounces. What the fuck am I talking about? I'm getting really wasted. Yeah, so barbecuing for them was interesting. Danny. There's Danny Taylor. You know, Danny was a paranoid schizophrenic. This was his diagnosis. Paranoid schizophrenic bipolar with illusions. Danny had multiple personalities. He was raised in a Mormon family, and he was abused really bad. And I know because I had a lot of conversations with Danny. Danny was probably my closest friend in my whole life. Danny died of an overdose, and partly because it's my fault. And I feel some guilt over that. I used to hold on to some of his medication for him, and one day he asked me for his medication back, and he died. And I blame myself a little bit for that. But I've got a lot of stories about Danny. Danny was a piece of work. He had about 6 personalities. One of them's name was Alex. And Alex was somebody not to fuck with. If you've ever seen Stephen King's Dark Man, then you know who Alex is. And if you haven't seen, not Dark Man, Dark Half, I'm lit. If you haven't seen Dark Half, check it out, and you'll know what I'm talking about. The guy was straight up killer. And he really liked me and Alex. Alex and me got along so well that Danny's psychiatrist used to ask me to come in and talk because I could get Alex to come out and talk, and he would talk to me and not the doctor. I could ask questions. Sometimes he would still get mad, but he was a drug seeker. I saw him do a lot of things like hurt himself, fake cancer, stick pencils down his penis, a lot of stuff. Yeah, some crazy stuff, but yeah. John and Dora, you know, they used to sell me their food stamps. You know, I'm going to be making a grind my gears on food stamps and not food stamps, but, You know what I mean about food stamps. They don't have food stamps like they used to. Here, let's tear this off, and here's food stamps. $2, $5, and $10 increments. It's cards now. But they would get, like, I think $500 on it, and they would come to me and say, well, we'll buy you $500 worth of steak if you give us $250 in cash. Did I do it? Yeah. Because if I didn't do it, someone else was going to. You know, whatever. But that's one of my grinds my gears, is that can happen. Because when I worked at Fred Meyer, that happened. I was part of that. I watched it happen, ringing people up, and you can't say anything. So there's a lot of things out there with social services and state benefits and welfare that have to be changed. But that's a whole nother video. We don't want to get into that. I think I've pretty much talked about everything with John and Dora. Some things might pop up and I'll tell you about. There was so much that happened with them. So much. But this is a 31-minute video. And if you've watched the whole thing, you know, congrats. It's been fun. I'm pretty wasted, but I can't turn it off because I still got beer in here. So this one right here goes out to my buddy Brad Bishop, the Pepper Lucha. Brad said, he called me up a couple days ago, and Brad goes, hey Ted, I want you to review some moonshine. Some strawberry moonshine. I reviewed it. I want you to. I said, dude, I don't do that. I'm not trying to mess my channel up and get too many different things. I like it where it's at. I think I have a nice diversity, you know, with some chocolates. And once the European chocolates stop, I won't be doing them anymore. I'm not going to do American chocolates, just chocolates from different countries or sweets from different countries. I do sodas, spicy stuff, horror movies from time to time, beer time with Ted, a little gardening, stuff like that. But I'm not going to review alcohol. But I will do a moonshine with Ted for Brad. I'm going to buy some of this strawberry moonshine that he wants me to try on camera. And hopefully I don't just puke because I'm so wasted because I'm such a lightweight. But Brad, this one's for you. John and Dora, this one's not for you. And for anybody out there that enjoys beer time with Ted, cheers. Let's see if I can finish this in one gulp. Very flavorful beer. Wow, I'm wasted. Thanks for watching. Like always, let's spice it up. We'll see you in the next video.